The Seawise Giant was a 564,763-ton supertanker built in Japan in 1979 for Orient Overseas Line. At 458 meters long, she remains the largest ship ever constructed. She was hit in 1988 during the Iran-Iraq War and scrapped in 2010. The Pierre Guillaumin was a 555,051-ton supertanker constructed in 1977 by Chantiers de l'Atlantique for CNN France. Measuring 414 meters, her massive size restricted harbor access and caused her scrapping after 6 years in 1983. The Prairial was a French supertanker launched in 1979 with a capacity of 555,046 tons. Operated under various names including Sea Giant, the 414-meter vessel transported crude globally until her final scrapping journey in 2003. The Bacillus was a 553,662 tons ultra-large crude carrier built in 1976 at Saint-Nazaire for Shell Oil. Spanning 414 meters in length, she carried Middle East oil to Europe before reduced market demand prompted her disposal in 1985. The Belamia was a 553,662-ton supertanker delivered in 1976 by Chantiers de l'Atlantique to Shell France. Designed for bulk oil transport, the 414-meter Giant served key oceanic shipping lanes prior to her early withdrawal in 1986. The Esso Atlantic was a massive crude oil carrier reaching 516,891 tons capacity, completed in 1977 in Japan for Esso. Measuring over 406 meters, her draft prevented Suez transit, and she served until being broken up in 2002. The Esso Pacific was a sister supertanker built in 1977 by Hitachi Zosen, with a capacity of 516,891 tons. Deployed by Esso across long-haul Arabian Gulf trade routes, she logged millions of miles before scrapping at Gadani Beach in 2002. The Nissei Maru was a 484,276 tons crude tanker built in 1975 in Japan for Tokyo Tanker Co. At 378 meters, she moved crude from the Persian Gulf to Asia and was among the largest Japanese-flagged ships prior to scrapping in 2003. The Globtik London was a 483,960-ton supertanker delivered in 1973 by II Hai in Japan to Globtik Tankers. Measuring 378 meters, she was chartered by Tokyo Tanker to transport crude from the Middle East before being scrapped in 1985. The Globtik Tokyo was a groundbreaking 483,684 tons tanker, constructed in 1973 by II Hai for Globtik Tankers. The 378-meter Giant made headlines as the world's largest ship upon launch and operated on Asian routes until scrap in 1986. The Burma Endeavour was a 457,841 tons supertanker built in Taiwan in 1977 for Burma Oil. Spanning 378 meters, she operated under several names, including Stena Queen, before completing her trading service and scrapping in 2003. The Hellespont Alhambra was a double-hulled 441,893-ton supertanker, launched in 2002 by Daewoo for Hellespont Group. Renamed TI Asia, the 380-meter ship was later converted in 2010 into a floating storage and offloading vessel in Qatar. The Hellespont Fairfax was a 441,893 tons double-hull supertanker completed in 2002 by South Korea's Daewoo Yard. Known as TI Oceania under Overseas Shipholding Group, the 380-meter vessel transitioned to offshore oil storage service in 2010. The Hellespont Metropolis was a 441,893-ton supertanker built in 2002 by Daewoo Shipbuilding for Hellespont Shipping. Later called TI Africa, the 380-meter ship was engineered with painted reflective tanks and was reconfigured for FSO use. The Hellespont Tara was a 441,893-ton supertanker delivered in 2002 by Daewoo to Hellespont Group. Later renamed TI Europe under Euronav, the 380-meter Giant moved heavy crude and became one of the largest active trade ships in the world. The Berge Empress was a 423,745-ton supertanker built in 1976 by Mitsui Engineering for Norway's Bergesen DY & Co. Measuring 382 meters, she carried bulk crude oil globally before being sold, renamed Emperor, and scrapped in 2004. The Berge Emperor was a 413,999-ton supertanker built in 1975 by Mitsui Shipbuilding for Bergesen DY & Co. The 381-meter ship carried crude across major ocean routes until her eventual sale to Bergesen successors and scrapping in 1996. The Al Rekha was a 413,842-ton supertanker launched in 1976 by Mitsubishi for Kuwait Oil Tanker Co. Renamed Bergesen and reflagged to the US in 1987, she famously survived an Iranian mine during Operation Earnest will before 2002 scrap. The Nai Superba was a 409,400-ton supertanker built in 1978 in Sweden by Eriksbergs for Navigazione Alta Italia. Measuring 381 meters, she transported bulk crude and chemicals internationally, until being broken up for scrap in 2001. The Nai Genova was a 409,400-ton supertanker completed in 1978 by Eriksberg Shipyard for Navigazione Alta Italia. At 381 meters long, the Italian-flagged vessel moved oil and chemical cargoes globally before being decommissioned in 2000. The Ore Brasil was a 402,347 tons bulk carrier delivered in 2011 by DSME for Vale, originally named Vale Brasil. Measuring 362 meters, she was designed to ship Brazilian iron ore to Asia with reduced fuel consumption per ton. The Vale Rio de Janeiro was a 402,347 tons Valemax ore carrier, built in 2011 by Daewoo in South Korea for Vale. At 362 meters long, she operates on long-haul iron ore routes connecting Brazilian ports to deepwater terminals in Asia. The Sohamax was a 400,315 tons, very large ore carrier launched in 2012 by Rongsheng Heavy Industries for Oman Shipping Co. Measuring 360 meters, she was chartered by Vale to transport bulk iron ore between Brazil, Oman and China. The Vale Dalian was a 400,315 tons Valemax class ore carrier completed in 2012 by Rongsheng Heavy Industries in China. Measuring 360 meters, she was operated by Vale to transport bulk iron ore from Brazil to major Asian metal markets. The Vale Shandong was a 400,315 tons bulk carrier delivered in 2012 by Rongsheng Heavy Industries for Vale. Spanning 360 meters, she was built to optimize transatlantic and trans-Pacific iron ore supply lines for Chinese steelmakers. The Vale Hebei was a 400,315 tons bulk carrier completed in 2012 by China Rongsheng for mining company Vale. At 360 meters long, she entered service moving iron ore from Ponta da Madeira in Brazil to transshipment hubs in Asia and Europe. The Ore Ningbo was a 400,315 tons Valemax class ore carrier constructed in 2012 by Rongsheng for Vale, originally named Vale Ningbo. Measuring 360 meters, she carries heavy iron ore loads on long-haul routes from South America to Asia. The Berg Everest was a 400,309 tons very large ore carrier built in 2011 by Bohai Shipbuilding for Berg Bulk. Spanning 361 meters, she made history in late 2011 as the first Valemax bulk carrier permitted to dock and discharge in China. The Pacific Flourish was a 399,116 tons second-generation Valemax ore carrier delivered in 2018 by Shanghai Weigaoqiao for China merchants. Spanning 362 meters, she was deployed to move iron ore from Brazil using cleaner LNG fuel systems. The Bergstahl was a 364,767 tons bulk carrier built in 1986 by Hyundai Heavy Industries for Bergesen DY & Co. Measuring 342 meters, she transported iron ore exclusively between Brazil and Rotterdam for decades, before scrapping in 2021.